It's snowing, but it's cold.
Guys, just a reminder, please speak directly into your microphone so Jeff can hear us. Can you hear us, Jeff?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff. Everyone's very excited.
Jeff, just so you know, I have to read a statement here, and any member of council can wish to vote you off the island. Okay, are we ready? I'd like to call this meeting of the Jamestown City Council of January 30th to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Sheldon.
Here.
Brockman. Here. Karuba. Here. Reynolds.
Present.
Faulkner.
Here.
Eklund. Here. DeVersa.
Here.
Russell.
Here.
And President Knowles.
Here, thank you. At this time, we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And please remain standing for tonight's invocation, which will be given by the Reverend Todd Remick of Holy Apostles, St. James and Sacred Heart Roman Catholic Churches. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God of peace, we invite you to preside over this meeting. Even if the members of this council have different opinions, give them unity of spirit. Help them to each listen as the other shares their point of view. Help them to work as a unified team in combining ideas for the greater good for the people of Jamestown. Help them to work together rather than as individuals trying to promote their own agendas. May a spirit of camaraderie be in this room so they can work together on the shared mission to bring peace, prosperity, and justice to the Jamestown area. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you. We never have disagreements, we're all get along. Do I have the approval of the minutes from the December 19th voting session?
So moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Karuba. I do have a message here. As council president, I have determined that circumstances exist that require the use of video conference to vote at this meeting. Should a member of the council wish to make a motion to override this decision, that may be made at this time. Hearing none, we will allow voting for video conferencing. So Jeff, you can stay. At this time, we have messages from the mayor.
We do. Dear council members, in January 2023, we have welcomed 3 new employees to the city of Jamestown. Aaron Samuelson and Dylan Kurpatwinski, Department of Public Works, and Thomas Sears, School Crossing Guard. I'm asking that these new hires be acknowledged and welcomed to the city of the Jamestown 30th, 2023 City Council meeting. Very truly yours, Edward A. Silvest. And we also have several appointments. In pursuance of the authority vested in me by the charter of said city, I do hereby nominate Russell E. Dietrich Jr., 153 Halleck Street, Jamestown, to be appointed a member of the Riverfront Management Council, as well as a member of the Parks, Recreation, and Conservation Commission in and for the city of Jamestown. The term for which both appointments is to be made will expire December 31st, 2027. John Lamancuso, 25 Severn Parkway, Jamestown, to be reappointed chairperson of the Planning Commission in and for the city of Jamestown, New York. The term for which said appointment is to be made will expire December 31st, 2027. Billy Torres, 345 Foot Avenue, Jamestown, to be reappointed a member of the Human Rights Commission in and for the city of Jamestown. The term will expire December 31st, 2025. Reverend U.B. Stewart Jr., 242 Barrett Avenue, Jamestown, to be reappointed a member and chairman of the Human Rights Commission. The term will expire December 31st, 2025. George S. Spitali, 67 Camp Street, Jamestown, to be reappointed a member and chair of the Veterans Memorial Commission in and for the city of Jamestown, New York. This term will expire December 31st, 2025. Jeffrey Nelson, 90 Howard Street, Jamestown, to be reappointed a member of the Planning Commission. The term will expire December 31st, 2027. Ellen DeTanto, 16 Norton Avenue, Jamestown, to be reappointed chairperson of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Term for this appointment will expire December 31, 2025. In pursuance of section 523-A of the Real Property Tax Law, I do hereby nominate Shannon Matern, 32 Colfax Street, Jamestown, to be appointed as a member of the Board of Assessment Review in and for the city of Jamestown. The term for this appointment will expire September 30th, 2027. And Thomas Benson, 141 East Virginia Boulevard, Jamestown, to be appointed a member of the Board of Public Utilities to fill the unexpired term of Tamu Graham Reinhardt resigned. This term will expire December 31st, 2023. And finally, the Reverend Luke Fodor, 311 Crossman Street, Jamestown, to be appointed a member of the Jamestown Community College Board of Trustees in and for the city of Jamestown, New York, to fill the unexpired term of Dr. Lillian May resigned. This term will expire June 30th, 2025.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules and vote on the appointments?
Second.
So moved by Councilman Faulkner. The clerk please poll the council on the suspension of the rules.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
Brackman,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Faulkner,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
DeVersa,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Aye. Do I have a motion to approve the appointments? So moved by Councilwoman Karuba, second by Councilwoman Brackman. Clerk please poll the council on the appointments.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
Brackman,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Faulkner,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
DeVersa,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Aye. Thank you. At this time, we give opportunity for people to address the council. If you want to speak to the council, please state your name and address and limit your remarks to 5 minutes. Is anyone here that would like to address the city council this evening?
Absolutely. Can I have more than 5 minutes?
501.
501, Melissa Petterdetti, 346 Faulkner Street. First of all, I just would like to put a big thank you out to the community. First and foremost, to Dave Wilfong. Dave Wilfong was my work stud, my workhorse. He set up the tables, he helped the whole time, but during the fundraiser on Saturday. Mr. Faulkner, Kim, Mr. Brett Sheldon came, other people had other arrangements. They've reached out and said that they couldn't make it. I appreciate that. A beautiful donation was given by the Kendall Club, and we were able to raise, with donations, $5,072. So I met with Dan Stone today at 4 o'clock, and we are going to go ahead and purchase, the benches already paid for with the down payment. That will be ordered, that'll be ordered now, and the picnic table will be ordered, and have a plaque or some sort of thing sponsored by the Kendall Club. I just want to say to the community that it was beautiful. It was a beautiful day. I want to give a big thank you to Ann Mathis. She was able to donate some of the winnings back from the first fundraiser that I did, that it was able to make this fundraiser Saturday to come to fruition. I would have never been able to do it without that. And she was the big winner at the fundraiser. She was able to win prizes, and she came back to pick it up because she came there again to donate. I met so many people that I didn't know. I was able to meet family members and friends of Sarah and Jeff, and the donations from the community, the donations from I ended up with 80 baskets, and 60 of them were donations. So if that doesn't tell you how much a community is coming together for this, I don't know what does. So from this point on, we're gonna wait for the benches to come in. The city will put them in. They will be cemented into the park. And then from that point on, we will figure out what we want to do with the rest of the money. There's a nice chunk of change still left over that will either go to, it's not enough to put musical instruments. I wish it could be a amusement park, but I know that that can't happen. But I will always keep people in the loop and make sure that people know what's going on. But one of the things that I really want to talk about tonight is the traffic that comes through North Main Street. And I know that it's been a situation for a long, long time, but that is a truck route that should not be a truck route. If you drive each way on 86, and I've said this before, there are signs that say no trucks. Trucks go on 11 and 13. That means trucks need to get off on 86 at 11, which is Strunk Road, and 13, which is Falconer. But there's no sign coming in from 60. Okay? So any truck that has come through the city of Jamestown and made that turn on that corner where that young girl died should have never been there. I don't care whose responsibility it is. That is the responsibility of the city of Jamestown, the state of New York, and Chautauqua County to make sure that that's changed. Because if it's not changed within a year, or at least the conversation doesn't start, then we're going to have a problem. There are plenty of ways to get those trucks back on the thruway. They can get right back on the thruway and go another exit. But there needs to be a sign, like tomorrow, that says no trucks entering in the city of Jamestown. I don't know, I mean, it's not impossible. Because I know that things can happen quick if there's really a, but that, I want to see that as an agenda. I want to see that talked about for the next 10 months. Because there are many, many different ways to get to Washington Street. And I know that that project's going to come to fruition, hopefully by the end of the year next year, or into 2024. But you can come off of that interstate by that McMobile and jump over those funeral homes, the cemeteries. I've looked on a map. There is plenty of space between those two cemeteries that something could be flied over, that those trucks can meet at Washington Street. And I'll speak at the state, I'll speak at the county level, whatever I gotta do. I will represent you and I will make this happen. Because that girl should never have died. I have watched, and honestly, one place that if you want to find out how many people have probably had a close call on that corner, go look at M&T Bank. Because 2 of their employees almost saw that little girl die, but they missed it. Because they sit in that window, and how many other people have they seen almost die? Because those trucks can't make that turn. That should never be a right on red. It's a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous intersection. And it's been a dangerous intersection for a long time. And I know I don't even need the microphone because that's how passionate I am about this. I've talked about traffic for 4 years, if not longer, because it's important. We have a hospital that has a 20-mile-an-hour zone that there's only one sign that says 20 miles per hour. Why? Why? That shouldn't happen. It's 20 miles an hour all the way around the hospital. There's people coming in and out. There's people dying. I mean, and I could go on and on and on about every corner. People don't know how to cross the street here. I don't know if that's your fault, his fault, all of these people's fault. Whose fault is it? It's because we don't have a walkable city. We don't have public transportation, and I've talked about that for a long time. Public transportation in the city of Jamestown needs to happen. There are people walking in the streets. There are people walking from this side of town. Why? We need transportation. And I don't know how long it could take. We need to go back to the archives. We need to go back to when Jamestown was successful and work that way. Because what we've been doing for the last 10 years isn't working. And I know that, with a political year coming up, is my time really over? Because I'm sorry, I really am. I mean, I could go on for days, but I appreciate you all. You know, I know the council, and I'll say one last thing to the public. The council, know what the council does. Because the council doesn't really run the city. The mayor does. The mayor just makes, or the council just makes sure the mayor is doing his job. So when we say the city, make sure you know who you're blaming. Don't always blame the people that you don't need to blame. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the council?
I'll give my water back.
I'm Anthony Toda. I live at 144 Clifton Avenue in Jamestown. In November of 2022, I spoke with at-large Councilman DeVersa and Mr. Russell. During my phone conversation with Mr. DeVersa stated to me that a reason for the Chautauqua County Land Bank to conduct demolition in Jamestown was that the land bank stated to Mr. DeVersa that the land bank needed funding. I'm requesting that you, Councilman DeVersa, state this reason publicly to me and the people of the city of Jamestown. Is that one of the reasons, at least, Mr. DeVersa?
Well, it was common knowledge that the land bank wanted money for demolitions and administration.
Was that the reason they contracted for demolition in the city of Jamestown? Was that one of the reasons? Because they needed funding. That's what you told me in a telephone conversation on November 28th, 2022, when I called you.
Well, I will get back to you on that. Let me check out,
Does anybody else in the council know if that was the reason that the land bank contracted with the city of Jamestown? Because they needed funding? Is that correct?
We didn't have the monies to do in-house demo. That was one of the reasons.
Well, you were gonna get ARPA funding for that. And that was approved in November. The ARPA funding's been approved for the land bank. And administrative fees, I believe, are a fifth of that amount, $200,000. Is that correct? Nobody knows?
Yes.
You guys were to working sessions?
We said yes.
Okay, so there's an $800,000 demolition fee and a $200,000 administrative fee, correct?
Not quite. Can we have Crystal respond to him when he's done? If you would?
And that was solely for the purposes of demolition, not for the other reasons the land bank exists, to rehab property so it can be reused
Sure.
and rebuilt.
That's not correct. We've determined.
According to the Department of Development, it was.
Mr. Toto, we've deterred to the chair, or the head of the Department of Development to answer your question.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. No, there were a number of items that were included in the proposal and that are, going to be in that contract, including, neighborhood cleanups, some, demolition was a portion of it, administrative fees were a portion of it, and there are a couple of other items, working with them on the 19A program, and the, a mentoring, a homeowner mentorship program as well.
And
So
how many-
there are a number of items that are included in that overall contract.
What are the predictions or the expectations for the amount of houses that will be reusable after that? Because the land bank doesn't have a very good record of.
Oh, they have a
rehabilitating
fantastic
houses.
record. I'm not sure where your information is coming from, but they actually have a very good record. They
Well,
have,
how many
they have
houses-
rehabbed over 100 properties within the city itself in 10 years.
In 10 years, 100 properties have been rehabilitated.
Oh, I believe it's over 100. I don't have the exact number, but it's, to my knowledge, it's over 100.
Okay, so when I go down Faulkner Street and many other places, and I discussed this with Mr. Russell, we're talking about demolishing properties in the city of Jamestown. Now, if you're going to try to increase the tax base, demolishing properties, and if you go down Faulkner Street's a good example, a lot of empty lots. And most of the time, when you demolish properties in the city of Jamestown, either due to a fire, arson, or some type of program like this one's gonna be, it's because houses, as Mr. Russell said, there is a lot of houses that need to be demolished. Well, is that the point? Because Jamestown's filled with old houses. So demolition is not gonna be the point, because if you contract for $1 million with whoever you want to contract with, 2 or 3 years down the road, you're gonna have to tear down some more houses, because there's not enough rehabilitation work done in the city of Jamestown. Well, that rehabilitation work came under, as she says, under 19A and the senior citizen program. Other than that, there's been very, very little rehab in the city of Jamestown, causing the housing stock to just waste away to the situation it is. And if anybody thinks $1 million is gonna solve this problem, 2 or 3 years from now, you're gonna need another 20, 30 houses that are gonna be demolished. You're gonna ruin the tax base and ruin the revenue for the city of Jamestown. So that's my complaint, and I don't believe it's a good idea just to demolish. There should be a focus, a primary focus, not on demolition, but on rehabilitation. And it doesn't need to be done through ARPA. It needs to be done through the local administration. They need to pick up the gauntlet and continue this until the housing problem is relieved in the city of Jamestown. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, just for the record, demolition is never our primary strategy. It is always the last case scenario, if at all possible. We are very strategic about the properties that we demolish. Oftentimes it is based on an emergency basis because there are houses that have caught fire or have severe damage for whatever reason. But demolition is never our first approach. And there are a number of different programs that are all working in concert with each other and with other organizations. We have a number of different nonprofit organizations that we work with. Plan Bank is just one of them. So there is, and has been for the last couple of years, a great deal of collaboration and strategies that have been put together to try to start to reverse the blight and the disinvestment that we have seen in the city. So demolition is never the primary goal. Neighborhood stabilization is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else like to address the council?
I'm Doug Champ, I live at 225 Bowling Street in Jamestown. First of all, thank you, Melissa, for your work. Today, the mayor gave the State of the City address. And I wasn't coming here tonight, but there were comments in there that I found not only absurd, but really questionable in terms of what the information was generated. And I'm going to do some things here a little bit different because I think I'm a child of the 60s or before, so I know what hallucinogenics are. I know all about the drug business. Not that I was in it, but whatever. Pot, bud, perp, keef, chronic, dope, honeycomb, herb, rosin, trees, boom, weed, Mary Jane, ganja, skunk, shattered, buttered, gonster. Those are all acronyms and names for cannabis or marijuana. It was cited in his address that hundreds of jobs were going to be created here in the cannabis industry. And we have mounted on the city's webpage, come grow with us. I'm all for innovation, but I'm not for identifying hundreds of jobs as a viable economic development plan for the city of Jamestown, especially in this business. I'm a grandfather. I don't know if any of you police may have heard of fentanyl-laced marijuana. It's a subject matter that needs to be discussed as this subject needs to be discussed. People will say it's a hoax. People talk about the benefits of cannabis. There's also benefits of CBD oil until you found out that it interacts with coagulation, such things as Pradaxa, Coumadin, eloquence. My point is this: I don't want Jamestown, the city that I've been here and worked in, to be identified as a cannabis empire. Now, if you have ever been, and maybe some of you have, but I would encourage you to see how many people are employed by the dispensary. It's a small little pharmacy. They distribute marijuana and a variety of things. Have you ever been to a large growing facility in Colorado or California? Not something that's taking place here. So the issue at hand is this: if the mayor is basing his economic development recovery plan on cannabis interjection, then what happened to the industrial powerhouse that he also said? Now, in windmills, there's like 10,000 parts. In photovoltaics, many parts. In greenhouses, many parts. Is it more important to go green cannabis, or should we be growing green food? I think we got a bigger demand and need for large community cooperative food distribution. Cannabis doesn't give a lot in terms of supporting your diet. Maybe it'll cause you to eat more. So my point is this: if we want to identify Jamestown in the mayor's State of the City message as hundreds of jobs in cannabis, where are the other jobs? What are we doing? The county, the city, the state, their initiative on cannabis may sound interesting and innovative and proper, but the benefits of that in terms of policing it down the road, 3 ounces of marijuana, what does that do legally? My point is not to demeanor the mayor. My point is this: we need an economic development plan. The American Rescue Plan was for economic recovery. So where are the jobs? How soon, how long, and who's doing it? That's my point with this message. And it's in there now, and you can go to it. Snow Belt, cannabis growing, come and invest with us. Sounds great. But my point is, it's not hundreds of jobs that are coming to Jamestown because of this, nor do we need hundreds and hundreds of cannabis jobs. What we need is somebody that makes something besides weed. So my point is this: when you do a State of the City address, I want to see more job creation opportunities talked about than hundreds of jobs of cannabis. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to the council this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on to the presentation of petitions or committee cases. We'll move on for reports from our standing committees, and we'll start with our Finance Committee, and the first 5 resolutions will be read by, or sponsored by Councilwoman Peruga.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing payment of the regular audit.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Bowles.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing Paula Pichon to attend the Mayor's Innovation Project Winter Meeting on January 20th through 21st at the La Conference Center, with expenses paid pursuant to Section 77-D of the General Municipal Law.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
I think he's frozen.
He's frozen.
He's frozen.
And President Bowles.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution designating $900,000 and no cents in American Rescue Plan Act Water, Sewer, and Broadband funds for the purpose of funding water main replacement and Water Street restoration work on Roland Road and Juliet Street.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
I just ask that the citizens that live on those 2, Road and Street, are very happy and appreciate everything that's being done to address the issues on that road.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Doles.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing payment of $440,700.00 for public improvement bonds issue of November 19th, 2013, defeasance of 2004 Chautauqua County IDA bonds.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Just to note, this is the first of two payments. The second interest-only payment is due August 1st of 2023.
Just to note, this is the first of two payments, the second interest-only payment of
It's on delay. Any other questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell. And President Doles.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
Julie.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the payment of $221,156.26 for public improvement bond Series A, issue of April 22nd, 2015, and noted the first two payments scheduled. The second interest-only payment is due July 15th, 2023.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Doles.
Aye. Just to note, Resolution 6 will be tabled for now. The next 7 resolutions under finance will be sponsored by Councilwoman Eklund.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to approve the water service agreement and water and wastewater agreement between the town of Pinetone and the Jamestown Board of Public Utilities pursuant to section C-54 of the Jamestown City Charter, subject to the approval of the Corporation Council as to form.
Thank you. Is there any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Doles.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing Sergeant McKinley and K-9 Officer Eric Kraft to attend the New York State Homeland Security and Emergency Services Tactical Team Leadership Forum to be held in Saratoga Springs, New York from March 1st through March 3rd, 2023. The expenses will be paid by the Jamestown Police Department pursuant to Section 77B of the General Municipal Laws of the State of New York.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
I heard it.
And President Doles.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing Sergeants Dan Overrun and Chris Schimmick to attend the New York Tactical Training Conference and Expo to be held April 24th through April 28th, 2023 in Verona, New York, with expenses paid pursuant to Section 77B of the General Municipal Laws of the State of New York.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Doles.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute change order number 1 with Building Innovation Group for the new vehicle maintenance facility based on the change order for a total decrease amount of $57,604.00, subject to the approval of the Corporation Council as to form.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Doles.
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. President, I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute change order number 2 with Building Innovation Group for the new vehicle maintenance facility for a total increase amount of $134,812.00, subject to the approval of the Corporation Council as to form.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
Brackman?
Aye.
Karuba?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Yes.
Faulkner?
Aye.
Eklund?
Aye.
DeVersa?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
And President Bowles?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute change order number 1 with JMI Heating and Air Incorporated for the new vehicle maintenance facility for the total decrease amount of $331,000.00, subject to the approval of the Corporation Council as to form.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
Brackman?
Aye.
Karuba?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Yes.
Faulkner?
Aye.
Eklund?
Aye.
DeVersa?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
And President Bowles?
Aye.
Finally, out of finance, I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute change order number 3 with CPS Construction Group, Butler Center, Spring Street Parking Ramp Repairs 2021 for a total increase amount of $6,533.00, subject to the approval of the Corporation Council as to form.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
Brackman?
Aye.
Karuba?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Yes.
Faulkner?
Aye.
Eklund?
Aye.
DeVersa?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
And President Bowles?
Aye. That concludes our resolutions for finance. We'll move on to public safety. There's one resolution, which will be sponsored by Councilman Sheldon.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution reappointing Kimberly A. Eklund to the office of Commissioner of Deeds for a term of 2 years.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
Brackman?
Aye.
Karuba?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Yes.
Faulkner?
Aye.
Eklund?
Aye.
DeVersa?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
And President Bowles?
Aye. That takes care of that. I'm just getting all my cheat sheets here. This one. Okay. We don't have any other resolutions from standing committees. Do we have any reports from special committees? Any reports from city officers? Reports from council members, boards? You're not talking to me. Any unfinished business? We do have several resolutions under new business. And they will be, the first 3 of them will be sponsored by Councilwoman Karuba.
Thank you, Mr. President. Be it resolved that the mayor is authorized to enter into a lease agreement with Chautauqua County, 3 North Erie Street, Mayville, New York, 14757, for office space on the 5th floor of City Hall for the period January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2023, subject to the approval as to form by the corporation.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
Brackman?
Aye.
Karuba?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Yes.
Faulkner?
Aye.
Eklund?
Aye.
DeVersa?
Aye.
Russell? And President Bowles?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. Resolved that the following claim be and hereby is approved. Nicole Garland, 21 Clinton Street, Jamestown, New York, 14701, $350 for claim number 16 of 2022.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
Brackman?
Aye.
Karuba?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Yes.
Faulkner?
Aye.
Eklund?
Aye.
DeVersa?
Aye.
Russell?
I heard it. Aye.
He's frozen.
What is it?
President Bowles?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. Be resolved that the following claim be and hereby is approved. Northwest Bank, 100 Liberty Street, Warren,
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Noted that this is the headquarters, but the damage was done to the bank in Jamestown, New York, not Warren, Pennsylvania, just so people understand why it's being paid.
Thank you. Any other comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Jones.
Aye. The last three resolutions under new business will be sponsored by Councilwoman Eklund.
Thank you, Mr. President. Resolved that Officer Jeremy Maggio and Officer Alexis Carlson be and hereby are authorized to attend the 2023 Committee on Policing and Safeguarding Schools, CPAS School Safety Conference. This training will be held February 20th through February 23rd, 2023 in Saratoga Springs, New York, with meals, lodging, and training expenses paid pursuant to Section 77B of the General Municipal Laws of the State of New York.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Jones.
Aye.
Thank you. I resolve that the mayor is authorized to execute an agreement with Pick of the Litter, 1805 East Elmwood Avenue, Faulkner, New York, 14733 for animal holding services provided to the city of Jamestown based on the bid opened in November 2022, subject to the approval as to the form by the Corporation Council.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Jones.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. And finally, tonight, we have a resolution designating $377,528.75 in American Rescue Plan Act Healthy Communities and Neighborhood Funds for the purpose of funding the Senior Citizen Home Improvement Incentive Program.
Thank you. Any questions or
Yeah,
comments?
I'd like to make just a quick statement. There's been a lot of noise around this and a lot of uncertainty as to who was funded, who wasn't going to be funded. I just want to make it clear to the public, this will fully fund all applications that have been approved through the process and are designated to receive help on these programs.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
I would just like to thank all, especially Councilwoman Eklund, but the office, Lisa Volpe and everybody who finally got this corrected and brought to what we hope is the final figures. And we appreciate all the efforts that went into this, but especially Councilwoman Eklund for finally getting the final number. We hope is the final number.
So that brings the total now to over 1.8 million.
Correct.
That's it for resolutions and new business.
Oh,
Oh, we didn't vote on it yet. You did crazy.
Couple comments.
Any other comments?
I just think it's well deserved, and I'm glad that we're pushing through the extra money. The people of the community really need this and they want this, so I say good job to all that worked on this, making this happen.
Thank you. Anything else?
Good job to all that worked on this.
Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Absolutely.
Karuba. Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Freeze, froze.
Aye.
All right. Aye. Okay. Now that we did vote on that, it does conclude our resolutions and our new business. Is there any other new business tonight to come to the council? Just have to say that this was interesting tonight. I can't tell if it was a Seinfeld episode or my classroom, but anyways. Well, kinks to work out, but at least we, our inaugural run of our Zoom vote to. Is there any other business? Something else? I declare the meeting adjourned.